How could anybody in this country or anywhere around the world defend or even try to explain what Putin is doing? What Putin is doing is evil. The devastation and the carnage and the stampede of human beings out of Ukraine, it's all caused by one man.
Yep.
For the better part of the last 2 decades, Putin has gotten away with murder again and again. He has poisoned more than just his opposition in Russia. Putin has poisoned our world with violence and lies. And for the truth to have a fighting chance in Ukraine, and yes, even in Russia, the truth needs allies. Allies, not more lies.
So that is our job. Our job is to get behind the iron curtain of disinformation and misinformation that Putin has, pulled on the Russian people. And the more that the Russian people understand what is going on in their brotherly neighbor's backyard, the more likely it is that Russia will actually do something about Vladimir Putin. There is nothing for us to do. You understand that, right? There is nothing for us to do with nuclear weapons. There's nothing for us to do with chemical weapons or biological weapons. There's nothing to bomb in Russia. Don't you get that if we did anything like that at this point, when the Russian people aren't completely and fully aware, the mothers in Russia aren't completely and fully aware of where their sons are or if their sons are coming home? Don't you get that our job is to tell them what is going on, to show them what is going on? That's our job right now. That's what I am asking for Americans to do. If you have any contact with the Russians, if you have any contact with Russian relatives or people that, and I told you about this website that allows you to text or email, a random phone number in Russia, a random email in Russia. You should do it. You should definitely do it. It's written in Cyrillic. They will understand the message. Maybe some of them will, sit back and think it's American propaganda. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll take you seriously. Maybe they won't. Who knows? But that is the way to do it. That's the thing to be doing. The other thing that you can do is open your home to a refugee, to open your home to somebody who needs to flee Ukraine for a little while and give them a safe place to, sleep with their baby or their child or their dog or their mother, right? And so I gave you 2 good websites. One is called 1920.in, and the other one is UkraineTakeShelter.com. Those are the things that you can do. Why you get so hysterical about nuclear this and nuclear that, and I shouldn't be showing there are no prisoners of war because Putin never declared a war. There are only people who are being lied to and told they're going on a training mission, only to find out they're in the middle of a freaking hot war and being asked to kill women and children in Ukraine with whom they share a history, and they're not willing to do it. You people who call me up and troll me on Twitter, Wes, you think I don't know who you are? Are you freaking out of your mind? Do you really think I was born yesterday? Give me a break. There are things that we can do, and there are things that we need to know. And the things that we need to know is that if Putin loses his mind and decides that he's so humiliated that he's going to use some sort of a prohibited weapon, and by prohibited, I mean the Geneva Conventions prohibits chemical, biological, but we've let him get away with it so many times. We have let him gas Syrians. We have let him invade Chechnya. We have let him, commit acts of torture, disappearances, and rape. This is how he fights. This is who Putin is. And we've known this forever. You just didn't want to know it. And now all of a sudden, you have a country that isn't going to lay down for it, that isn't going to go quietly into that good night, that actually has, some creativity about how to get the word out, that actually understands how to message the world with videos and with a charismatic president who is an everyman. Yes, Zelensky, just so you know, he's not just a comedic actor. He's also a lawyer. He has a degree in law, and he understands the world. And also, his entire family was lost in the Holocaust. He had 3 brothers that were killed, or his father's brothers were killed. Okay, here is Zelensky telling his story this weekend to Fareed Zakaria. Okay,
my grandfather and his 4 brothers were living in an ordinary village, and then the Second World War started. My grandfather was graduating from military college at that time, and all of his brothers went to war because their father said that they had to protect the country. They had to fight fascism. So they went to war, and all the brothers died. When Russians are telling about neo-Nazis and they turned to me, I just replied that I have lost my entire family in the war because all of them were exterminated during World War II.
I mean, come on. His grandfather had, 4 brothers, he says, that, and they were all exterminated in World War II, fighting against Nazism, fighting against fascism. My God, you think they don't know what they're up against here? Of course they know what they're up against here. And you know, it's so interesting how Putin is calling them Nazis. That's so interesting because America has a problem with neo-Nazis and white supremacists and patriot movements and all kinds of, disgusting, sycophant bootlickers who love Hitler. They love to say words like Lügenpresse, right? I mean, the Richard Spencers of the world and the psychos, that sit and make money off of their, internet shows. Steve Bannon is a worshiper of fascism. He loves the idea, loves it. And we're supposed to say, there's something wrong with Ukraine because Ukraine has some young kids who are interested in white supremacist ideology and wear, white supremacist, patches on their. Please give me a freaking break here. They're not in government like Putin is. They're not in government like Trump was. Our military is eaten up with white supremacy. Our military and like the guys who did January 6th and the girl who got shot. Ashley Babbitt was ex-Air Force. These crazy people, we have them too. But they're not in government like Putin is. They're not in government like Trump was. They're not sitting there like, being advisors to presidents like Steve Bannon was or like Jason Miller is. This is crazy. This is mass madness. Now, here you have a man whose entire family was exterminated by Nazis and understands what Nazis did. And Putin is doing what Nazis did. Surrounding cities, siege warfare, and starving the population so that they'll surrender. It doesn't happen. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.